Hey everyone, it's Billy again with Strictly Sales Buckeye Kayak Fishing Trail. Since the last video that I made, we've actually had two events. We had an online event and we had an in-person part of our tour series. And I want to go over both of those today. The first one I want to go over is the buttload of bass. And in the buttload of bass, it was pretty unique because it was not about the size of the fish, it was about the quantity of fish. Quantity over quality. We still add up the total length, and then you could catch up to 20 bass. So we had 63 anglers that participated in the buttload of bass, and out of those 63, only 5 anglers were able to catch their limit of 20 fish. I'm going to just start in and tell you how much they had, the size of their total bag, and the amount of money that they won. So let's jump in. Since we had 63 anglers, we pay out 6 spots, and the number 6 spot goes to Wayne Schnock, and Wayne had 287 inches, and he will be taking home $88. In 5th place, we have Ryan Havlicek, and Ryan had 293.25 inches, and Ryan will be taking home $113. Congratulations, Ryan. And in 4th place, we have Dave Shar with 294.75 inches, and Dave will be taking home $139. In 3rd place, in the buttload of bass, we have Brian Coyne, and Brian with 319 inches will be taking home $151. So Brian was the first angler to crack the 300-inch mark with 20 bass. That's pretty cool. Congratulations, Brian. And then coming in 2nd place, we have John Warchall, and John at 320.25 inches will be taking home $265. And finally, 1st place at the buttload of bass, the online series presented by DAKOTA Lithium, we have Jason Isaacs. Jason comes in with 349 inches. He'll be taking home $504. Jason is no stranger to the 1st place, no stranger to the top of the leaderboard in this online series. So congratulations to Jason. Also, congratulations again to Wayne, Ryan, Dave, Brian, John, and Jason. The buttload of bass was a ton of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm going to suggest we do it again next year. I really liked it that much. It was a lot of fun, and hope you guys liked it too. Okay, guys, so now I want to talk about the Strictly Sales Buckeye Kayak Fishing Trail event that was held on this past Saturday, June 13th, and it's part of our tour series presented by DAKOTA Lithium, and this event was actually sponsored by Fisherman Warehouse. So if you haven't been down to Fisherman's Warehouse, it's in Columbus, Ohio. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, so anytime I needed to go get anything for fishing, hunting, any of that, ever since I was a little kid, they've been open since before I was born. You got to go down there. They're in Columbus, support some local business, a lot of expertise there. We really appreciate them sponsoring the Alum Creek Lake event. Also, the Alum Creek event is part of the Ohio Bass Nation State Championship Series. So as you guys all know, Bassmaster came out with the Bass Nation and the Kayak Series, and BKFT is proud to be part of that. And the Alum Creek Lake is the first event that we had. We have 2 more coming up in 2020, but this is the first event of 3 where it was part of the Bass Nation. So that's really exciting. If you don't know anything more about that, you've got to go online and check that out. It's really cool. I'm pretty excited about everything that offers. Okay, if you guys have fished Alum Creek before, you know that the lake can pretty much be split into 2 sections. You have the north end and the south end. One end is known to produce largemouth. The other one is smallmouth. Now, you can catch smallmouth and largemouth all over the lake. Some people, I can't. But if you know what you're doing. What's really cool is that 1st and 2nd place were fishing at opposite ends of the lake, I think. Just by looking at their photos, it seemed like one targeted smallmouth and the other one largemouth. And I thought it was really interesting that they both could have easily won. They actually tied, and it went down to the tiebreaker for who had the big fish. All right, guys, so let's jump in and get this started. Top 5 places. Coming in at number 5, we have Steven Berger, and Steven had 74 inches, and that will pay him out $97. So congratulations, Steven. Number 4, we have Ryan Havlicek, and Ryan comes in with 74.5 inches. Ryan will be taking home $130. And coming in 3rd place, we have Mike Wolforth, And Mike with 75 inches will be taking home $140. Congratulations, Mike. Okay, guys, I told you there was a tie between first and second, so let's jump in. Number 2 was Chris Hannigan with 84.5 inches. Chris will be taking home $248. So congratulations, Chris. That is a pretty big score of 84.5. Okay, and then first place with also 84.5 is Everett Sheets, and Everett will be taking home $464. So congratulations, Everett. Everett also takes home the big bass. That was the tiebreaker between Everett and Chris, and the big bass was 20.25. And then congratulations to Steven, Ryan, Mike, Chris, and of course Everett for winning the tournament. Congratulations to everybody. You guys did amazing. It was a tough day. It rained. I think the tournament started at 5:45 a.m. and it rained until like almost 11 o'clock. It was nasty rain. It was, I know it's June 13th, but it was like 57 degrees and raining. So if you didn't have rain gear or if you weren't prepared for that, it was a very miserable morning. The fish moved. They were a little harder to find. So all these guys I just named off that got top 5, they really put in the work. They did an amazing job, so congratulations. All right, guys, now it's time for the 50-50 drawing. I put in 0 through 54 because there were 54 anglers, and I'm going to shake my phone, and it's going to give you a random number, and then I'm going to go to Tourney X and see who was assigned that number by Tourney X. So let me shake it. 22. So when I go to my Tourney X app and I scroll down to the 2020 BKFT Tour Series Alum Creek, 22 was Michael Jacks. So congratulations to Michael Jacks, $135 for the 50-50. So congratulations to Michael. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, do all those things. We have some pretty exciting videos coming up in the future. Sometimes at the end of these recaps, there will be a podcast that's actually attached. So it'll be the audio version of Zach Carell interviewing people that were, winners or placed well. Might be people like, Jason Isaacs or, Everett or Chris Hannigan. Some of those guys that did really well. They can give you tips and tricks, tell you what worked, maybe some of their strategy. Don't ask them where they fished. Zach, don't do it. But you can learn a lot of stuff. If you haven't gone back and listened to any of the other podcasts, you can really learn a lot by doing that. A lot of the kayak anglers, as you guys know, are really willing to share a lot of what they did to be successful for the tournament. So hang out, listen to Zach's podcast, and then don't forget that we have a week between the Tour Series events from Alum Creek to Raccoon Creek. But good news, there is a multi-species event, and it's going to be the 19th, 20th, 21st. You got to check that out. There's 18 categories of species. You get 1 point for each fish that you catch. So go on BuckeyeKayakFishingTrail.com. Check out that multi-species event that's coming up this weekend. That's going to be pretty cool. And then if you want to see where the standings are right now, I think they were last updated on 5/27, so they should be updated anytime soon. So you got to go on there. It's the Keel Armor standings, and it's on BuckeyeKayakFishingTrail.com. You just go to the website. The header at the top has an actual tab that says standings. You click on that and you can see where you are for the year. So congratulations again to all the winners of both tournaments. Hope to see you guys either at the online event, at the multi-species event, or maybe even at Raccoon Creek. Stay safe, guys. Tight lines.
You're listening to Buckeye Kayak Fishing. I'm your host, Zach Carell. Tonight's a very special episode. I got the guys, the winners, the main dudes. The winner of the Buttload Bass event, Jason Isaacs. And then our most recent event, the Fisherman's Warehouse Alum Creek tournament. And that was Everett Sheets. So good job, guys, man. These guys beat out a lot of sticks this weekend and the past weekend. And it's been pretty interesting to watch, especially the buttload of bass. That's an interesting form of measurement. A buttload actually equals out to about 20. So if anybody was curious what a buttload, like how many a buttload actually is, it's about 20. So during this tournament, you caught 20 bass. So it was your best 20 bass. And it's pretty amazing stuff. We had, 63 anglers and 626 fish caught. Wow. That's a lot of fish, and I feel bad for the judges that had to judge this. I'm glad I didn't have to judge it myself because I'm on the Buckeye committee, but I hadn't really had to do a whole lot of judging yet. But man, that's a lot of fish to go through, especially in was a 12-hour period. Well, it ran from June 6th, 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. So, man, that's a full day of freaking fishing, basically daylight to dark. And that's a lot of bass to put up. But, man, these guys came out on top. Jason Isaacs, he totaled out at, the Tourney X website is actually blocking out your number. What did you total out on at inches, Jason?
Well, I had 354 and a quarter, but Wednesday when I was heading to Kentucky Lake for the Hobie BOS, Neil had messaged me and said, "Hey, I think your 219 and a quarters are the same fish." And I had no idea. I pulled over to get gas and I looked at it and I told him, I said, "It's definitely the same fish. Take it off."
Yeah.
So he took that one off and put a 14 on, which gave me 349. And I think I won by like 29 inches.
Yeah, second place was John Warchall, and he came up with 320 inches and a quarter. And actually, if you look on the Tourney X website, this little bar at the side that says clubs blocks your total numbers and blocks a lot of your bass. So kind of have to excuse me, I'm trying to figure this stuff out. I saw your biggest bass was 20 and a quarter, and then you had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 19-inch bass, ranging from 19 and a quarter to 19 and 3/4. You had 1 18 and a quarter bass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 17-inch bass, a 16-inch and a 15-inch, and then I can't really see the rest of your score because the Tourney X website's all funked up. But yeah, man, dude, that's impressive, man. Gee, manese. What was your basic strategy for coming up with that many bass?
I knew I needed to hit multiple bodies of water in order to do it. Cause like I told my dad, I was like, dude, everybody keeps talking that getting 20 bass shouldn't be that much of a problem. I was like, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be flat out hard. And I think there was only 6 of us out of 63 that got 20 fish.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of people that got the full 20, that's for sure. That's hard to put up a limit of 20 fish. Sometimes it's hard to put up a limit of 5 fish or 10, let alone 20. I guess that's why they gave you the whole day.
But I bounced around to a few places, and then I came back to one place that I started at. I caught the 19 and a quarter 11 and a half hours apart.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I had no clue. By that time, I done caught so many daggone fish and was so tired, I didn't even think to look to see if it was the same fish. But I definitely, the moment I looked at it, I could see there was one distinctive mark and one of on the lateral line that had like a little hook on the spot. And like I said, I told Neil to just, I pretty much immediately told him it was the same fish to take it off. I mean,
did you
obviously
catch the same fish twice? Or did you share the picture twice on accident?
No, I definitely caught it. Wow. I caught it at 7. Like I didn't know when I caught him, and I asked him. I said, "When did I catch those fish?" He said the first one was 7:30 a.m. and the second one was 7 p.m. Wow. So I definitely, yeah.
So you caught the same fish in the same day. What is that? About 12 hours apart.
Almost, yeah, on the same thing. Wasn't very smart, was it?
It's kind of, I don't know how I feel about that rule, because it's kind of hard to prove that you didn't just duplicate the fish. But then what happens when you do catch the same fish twice and it's a big fish? Shouldn't that count because you did technically catch him twice? You know what I mean?
There's all kinds of different ways that you can look at it. Like somebody could put one on a stringer and carry it around for 10 hours and then freaking take another picture.
That's true. There is ways.
I definitely didn't do that. I can tell you that right now. I don't have to. I ain't got to cheat you to beat you.
No, you don't, man. You've proven that this year. That's for sure. I'm confident in that, man. When did you tell us a story about how you caught that 20 and a quarter, man? What'd you catch him on, and what time of day was it?
Honestly, I caught it on a stick bait, but I don't even remember. I caught 26 fish that day. 24 were keepers. I don't even remember it, to be honest.
I don't blame you. That's a lot of bass to keep track of, man. You know,
And
it's
I
one
had a
thing
few. I had a few well over 20 to get that got off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's awesome. Everett, did you participate in this?
Yeah, I fished Alum Creek for that.
Oh yeah, well you were pre-fishing Alum Creek while fishing this. How did you do?
I only caught 13 of size. I caught like 150 fish, and like 100 of them were bass, but they were all shorts.
Oh, gee, man.
And it's still a fun day.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dude, that's still a lot of bass, man. That's a lot of fun, man. It's awesome. I love these events, and of course that's the Buttload of Bass, sponsored by DAKOTA Lithium Batteries and Strictly Sail and Kayak, and that's a lot of fun. Hopefully we do that again. And remember, a unit of measurement referred to as a buttload equals out to about 20. So someone asks you if they want a buttload of jigs, that's about 20 jigs, or a buttload of bass, that's about 20 bass. So awesome, man. Congratulations, Jason. You're definitely, man, making a name for yourself this year, and you're just rocking it, dude. Keep on going, man, and we'll be behind you 100%. I heard you just came back from Kentucky Lake, man. How'd you do down there?
There was 129 of us. I come in 17th.
That's awesome.
Again, I had some really big fish get off that would have definitely put me in the top 10, possibly the top 5. I mean, I had some big ones on that got off, so it is what it is. That's fishing that happens. I'm happy with 17th, especially after, right out of Kurt Smith's mouth, he says, that everyone down here is like the best kayak anglers in the world. So that made me feel good,
Oh, yeah, man. You're up there competing with the big boys and big girls. And, man, you held your own. Dude, congratulations on that.
I fished Lake Barkley, actually. I didn't fish Kentucky, so.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
well,
cool.
So, Everett, man, that's congratulations again on winning the Fisherman's Warehouse Alum Creek event. Very impressive stuff. That was my first trip up to that lake was this weekend, and I went up there and pre-fished it on Friday, and then I fished the tournament on Saturday. And of course, I was telling you before the podcast, when I went to show up at the marina in the morning, and there was 30 bass boats sitting there waiting to pull out of the marina. And there's probably another 20 bass boats in line ready to trying to pull into the water and launch their boats. So I ended up going to the ramp up there by Cheshire Road, and it was backed up to the road. There was a line of cars from the boat ramp to the actual freaking road. I'd never seen boat ramps and marinas this busy before. And of course, I don't go to a lot of big lakes. Alum Creek's a big lake. A lot of pleasure boaters. I went by the beach on Friday, and there's just people are not following the COVID-19 orders of social distancing because there was just hundreds and hundreds of people out there on the beach. And it's a crazy lake, man. It's a very intimidating lake too. I ended up finding a boat ramp that wasn't backed up, and it was close to the horse campground up there at Alum Creek. That's actually where we stayed. I stayed with a few other people that fished the Buckeye Trail events, and we stayed at the horse campground, which was nice because we only had one other group of people that were there. So we basically had the whole campgrounds to ourselves. Well, I imagine everybody in the actual state park campground were all piled up on each other. We actually were kind of like the only ones there, and that was really nice. But, I caught a bunch of dinks. I heard a lot of people up north that fished the north side of the lake or really didn't do the greatest, man. But that's just kind of my story from Alum Creek, man. And it's an intimidating lake, man. So that's pretty impressive. Impressive what you did there, Everett, coming out on top. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of sticks. A lot of guys that fish Alum Creek a lot can't talk tonight. They were participating in this tournament. And, man, you came out on top, man. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you.
So what's the story, man? How much pre-fishing did you do? And, you don't have to give up your honey hole or your secret techniques, but, what was the basic strategy on how you pulled this together?
I didn't do anything special. I spent about 2 weeks pre-fishing it. Plus, we had a Central Ohio League tournament on Wednesday. That was another day to pre-fish it. back when it was pouring down rain. So the conditions were pretty similar, which was nice. And during the MLF event, I found a grass bite off of a rocky point. So I was able to hit the rocky point for smallmouth and then go into the grass for the largemouth. And that grass that I found is actually where I caught that 22.5.
Wow, dude, that's impressive, man. That is impressive. I'm actually going to pull up your stats here real quick. Yeah, so you came out on top. You got a 20 and a quarter, a 19, a 15 and a half, a 15, and a 14 and 3/4. So you came out at 84 and a half inches, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. The I was only at like 79 inches down in the South Pool, but my plan was after about 10 o'clock when all the boat traffic started to pick up, I was going to move up to the North Pool, and I moved to the a lot of the guys went to the Northeast side, but there was only 3 kayakers on the Northwest arm that I met. And I was up on the Northwest arm. That's where I had scouted previously. I didn't do any pre-fishing there, but I had paddled around the day before and got some depth markers on it. And that's where I called up 3 of my 5 fish, including the 19-inch.
Wow, so it seems like your homework you did on this lake and your pre-fishing really paid off for you. And seems like you put a lot of work into this tournament, pre-fishing it. Like you said, you've been pre-fishing it for 2 weeks up until then. There was 54 anglers in this tournament and 168 fish caught. So, yeah, that's awesome, man. Nowhere near the fish at the buttload of bass, of course. And this was a 5-fish limit, but, that's still pretty impressive. Chris Hannigan, he came in second place. He finished with 84 and a half inches. Mike Wolforth, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, buddy, came in at third at 75 inches. Ryan Havlick came in at fourth at 74 and a half inches. And then Steve Berger came in at fifth at 74 inches. So, man, some impressive stuff, man. Definitely.
And you'll see a lot of those fish are smallmouth because the smallmouth. If you could figure out that smallmouth bite, you were going to fill them up pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a legendary lake for smallmouth, and I did some research in Alum Creek before I came up there. I mean, that's a good musky lake. That's a good smallmouth and largemouth lake. It seems like a very healthy ecosystem there.
Oh, it's a wonderful lake if it weren't for all the pleasure boaters out there.
Yeah, dude, it reminded me of East Fork. I live near East Fork Lake. And it just gets so crazy in the summertime with jet skiers and pleasure boaters and yahoos out there. And when I was out at Alum Creek on Friday, dude, it was like a big party out there, man. You had college kids were out there on boats, people of all ages, pontoons, party boats, everything going up and down the lake, man. People drinking, having a good time. That's one of the few lakes I've actually seen the water patrol out patrolling as much as they did there. And you know what? It seemed like every boat ramp I went to, there was a game warden sitting there. I'd never seen so many game wardens at one lake at one time in one weekend. Well, but that blew my mind, man.
Well, there was a college tournament and a local. I think it was a BFL tournament or a FLW local tournament going on. So one of the high school tournament launched out of Cheshire, which is why that one got backed up, and then the southeast ramp got backed up because of the BLF tournament.
Yeah, that's the marina, right? The southeast ramp.
The southwest would be the marina. I don't know why that one was backed up.
I heard there was a muskie tournament too. I heard there was a muskie tournament going on, a bass tournament, and then of course our kayak tournament. So man, there's a lot of people out there on the water, plus all the partiers. But I think that rain on Saturday morning kind of kept a lot of the pleasure boaters away until later on. And I noticed towards the end of the day, 1 or 2 o'clock, I started seeing the pleasure boaters, but it was pretty quiet most of the morning.
There were a lot of us that forgot our rain gear because we looked at the weather report the day before and it said it was going to be bright and sunny, so we didn't bother, including myself. So I froze my butt off, but I'd gladly freeze my butt off to be able to fish at my point for an extra, hour or two before all the boats started running out there.
100%. Yeah, I was going to ask you how you dealt with the rain out there because I didn't bring my my poncho. Usually
same group, yeah.
Because the weather said, hey, it's going to be nice on Saturday. It was going to be sunny, partly cloudy or sunny, and there wasn't any rain in the forecast. And then we get up there, and man, it rained all morning. It rained probably till about 11 o'clock in the morning. It was downpouring all morning, man. It was miserable.
I was calling up by 7 o'clock, so even though I was basically fishing my tube like it was a shaky head, it didn't bother me when I was catching fish every other cast.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. That's tough too when you're cold out there and you forget your gear.
Oh yeah.
It was chilly. You wouldn't think it'd be that chilly for June, in the middle of June, but man, it got pretty cold in the morning, and there was definitely a chill in the air. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That was a fun event. Like I said, that was my first experience on that lake, and I really enjoyed myself. Really learned a lot about it, and I'm looking forward to going again next year. So another thing about this lake too is you qualified for the state championship of a Bassmaster. So this was a Bassmaster qualifier, and that's pretty impressive, man. So you're good to go there. This was our last event before Raccoon Creek next weekend. And Raccoon Creek will actually be our first in-person event for this year. So, of course, from the COVID-19 pandemic and dealing with everything, we turned a lot of our in-person events into online events. That way, we practice social distancing. But then it kind of sucks too because we hadn't been able to do raffles or anything like that. So the raffles and the get-togethers and the weigh-ins are a lot of fun. So Raccoon Creek coming up next weekend. Well, not next weekend, but the end of the week, the end of the month, which is the 27th and the 28th. It's just 2-day event. So this will be our first in-person event of the season. And to what I hear, they're planning on giving away a couple kayaks. So I know Dustin down there at Raccoon Creek, he actually kind of hinted around at giving away 2 kayaks this year because last year he gave away a Jackson Kraken. And I kept making the joke, release the Kraken, and nobody laughed. I'm the only one that laughed. I'm still the only one laughing now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we'll have 2 kayaks to give away, hopefully. And I'm sure this raffle will be good. Like I said, we've got raffle prizes and stuff backed up where we hadn't done raffles all spring. So I'm sure this will be a good one, guys. And it'll be good for everybody to get together. It's a 2-day event, and I plan to fish it. Are you guys going to go?
Oh yeah. I am super excited for it. I've been looking forward to it all year. I've got my sportsman handbook right here, and I've been reading up on it since they posted the lakes earlier today.
Oh, nice. How about you, Jason? Are you going?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
Dude, that's the most fun event, man. We all get together and drink a few beers. It's a private campground. We have a communal fire where everybody that's camping, we all kind of hang around one fire and bullshit and talk kayak fishing all night. And it was so much fun last year. We decided to make it a 2-day event this year. So I'm super excited, man. I agree with you. It's the most fun event of the year, and I've been looking forward to it all year. This one and East Harbor are probably my favorites, but I think I like Raccoon Creek the best.
I just had about a 19 throw the hook at the boat.
Oh, man. Yeah, Jason's out there fishing now, man. You doing any good?
I've caught 9. My best 5 are 94 1/4.
Not bad night at all, man. I wish I was out there fishing. I had to work all day and then come home and get ready. And
Fishing.
oh, no, it is, man. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I think it was a good podcast. We had, Jason Isaacs on. He's a stick. Everett's a stick. And, we talked a lot of bass fishing. And congratulations, guys, again. And I always look forward to the next tournament. And I'll see you guys at Raccoon Creek. And everybody listening, come out Raccoon Creek with us next weekend. I guarantee you'll have a good time. Bring your camping, bring your sleeping bag, bring your tent, do some camping with us, and we'll have some fun. So definitely get signed up for that. Like I said, you got a couple weeks. It's June 27th and 28th. That's our next event. So definitely check it out, guys. And I appreciate you guys coming on tonight.
I appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir. And congratulations again. And thanks to all our sponsors, especially for these last 2 events, DAKOTA Lithium Batteries, Strictly Salmon Kayak, and then Fisherman's Warehouse for these events. So check them out online. Check them out on Facebook. And thanks for listening, guys. And until next time, tight lines.